moving on to our next article of the day, and this is a little touchy subject for many. But when you're trying to discipline kids, especially in stressful times, sometimes people can get too aggressive. Other times they don't know how to present the situation in an effective way, or if you present it wrong, you can traumatize the kid, or you can make them have a bad rapport. Let's say you can have a bad rapport with your parents, a bad rapport for the law, a bad rapport for whatever, with whoever. So this article does take place in for Malaysia. And I wanted to read this first because this is going to wrap into our next article about how serious things are getting there, but how compassionate the law enforcement was in this particular case. On Oscar, kids caught violating the MCO will never be arrested, kids cop says. Jorbabor, the police will remain strict enforcement on the MCO and enhancement, but will use discretion in dealing with children. The police chief said the police would never arrest children as it would leave a deep trauma on them. He was commenting on the video of Kopong Malak Payat, who were stopped by a police team passing through the area. We are strict in terms of enforcement of the MCO, but we need to be creative in approaching kids because they are naive. Naive means they don't believe it. Not sure. Really? Unicorns exist? Common Ahoy said on April 4th. He said the kids were scolded by the police after receiving a request from the village chief to help monitor the kids' activities in the village. The incident occurred at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday, the 11th of April, after the patrol team comprising of a Lance Corporal, Rudison, and a corporal found the children walking behind a park. A 2-minute 46-second video was recorded by the corporal and forwarded to the village chief before it went viral on social media. In the video, the children are seen crying and trying to negotiate to get home, promising not to go out again. In the process of reprehending them, the policeman also bought $5.50 RMB, Malaysian ruples, worth of the product from the children. Usually it's 3 ruples is $1. The video was uploaded by a Facebook user who had received close to 60,000 views and been shared more than 97,000 times. The video received positive feedback for the way that the patrol team handled the matter. He even supported the kids while nagging them. Awesome. The Facebook user said this was a better way to teach children a lesson instead of scolding them. The politician authorities set a good example on how to teach kids, and this can be amplified by parents and teachers and elderly. So I want to stop there, and I want to give my thoughts on this. Okay, my thoughts. Communicating with children, crime, and go directly to court. So in this article we read, in stressful times, one must keep their head clear. They must remember not to scare the young and present their information in many ways to address many different ages and crowds. Yeah, when I was teaching English, sometimes I would teach university students, and I knew that they might be going to Malaysia, Vietnam, China, and I try to tell them just because you can speak English does not mean you can present your give orders in one particular way. So sometimes you have to present your topic 2 or 3 different ways to get your employees to act the way you want them to. So they practice that. Now, my question for you, the listener, is what did you scold your child for in the past? And do you wish you presented yourself in a different way to get your point across better? If so, I'd love to hear your examples below. The reason I gave that article first is this came out today as well, because we just talked about children, but now let's talk about adults. The minister said cops to drag MCO violators straight to court from tomorrow. Okay, so Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia, the police will be focusing less on issuing compound notices, which is a ticket to floaters of movement to control the MCO, and now they will bring them straight to the court, senior minister said. In the press conference live broadcast, the Ismail Sabari said that the new decision was decided by the government, seeing how many people were still defying the MCO. We see that the racket and acting are going on just as if citizens do not care or are not afraid of the laws we have today. Maybe 1,000 RMB, and that's about $300, 350, is not seen as too high to scare them. So whom are we still continuously violating the MCO? So we agreed that the police, beginning tomorrow, won't focus on compounds or tickets. Beginning tomorrow, those who are caught will be remanded and brought to the court. Let the court decide based on Section 24, Act 342. The court can punish them not more than 2 years imprisonment, and for a subsequent offense, 5 years imprisonment. So, all right. Now, I want to ask, does that seem harsh? It's kind of like getting a ticket, but not even a ticket. They're just cuffing you and taking you to jail. So this is, what are your thoughts on that? This is Malaysia. And my question for you is this type of brute force really needed, or is it an overextension of the law that may become the normality by 2030? Because if you think back, like when 9/11 in America happened, they passed all these spying programs, Freedom Act, Patriot Act, to spy on their citizens, and now they're just law. And so, will they eventually just make this a law for everything here on after? And then would you like this kind of thing, or do you think we should be careful giving the government so much power? Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear about the children and about this article here. Hi. The small clip you saw was brought to you by Loyal World News. If you like what you saw, you should subscribe and look up my daily Loyal World News report for its full version. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, prefer to be on the road, I also have a podcast in every full-length video I put up.